Sit back and put your feet up as we head into qualifying here in Kuala Lumpur. Over the next few minutes, we'll find out who's got pace in the car and who hasn't.
What is up, guys, and welcome back to a brand new career mode episode. This is round number 16 here for the Malaysian Grand Prix. Can you believe we only have 5 races left in this career mode series for season 1? It's quite remarkable. In the previous episode, if you did miss it, we ceased development on the car. So what I'm going to decide to do for the rest of the season going forward is I'm going to skip out the practice highlights. I'm still going to go ahead and earn those resource points for you guys, but there's nothing really to show because there's not going to be any upgrades going on for the rest of this season. They'll be jumping on the car for season 2. So just be aware, the upgrades will be happening for season 2. It's all happening in the background, but it's not going to be taking up crucial video time. So here we are, straight here for qualifying here for this Malaysian Grand Prix. Pace-wise, it looks like again we might be slightly slower than Pascal. You know, just on the verge of the top 10. That's kind of where we stand at the moment, as the development for a lot of the cars this season are starting to come to an end here. So first lap here, this is possibly going to be our only lap in qualifying because the rain was already falling down as I was starting this lap. A lot of the runners who have already set laps have set their times in bone dry conditions or very close to dry conditions, whereas in this final sector of the lap here, I've been running around with, you know, light spitting of rain, so I was actually quite losing a lot of time in that final sector there. We go P11, slowest of anyone who has set a time there, and this is the second lap, just, you know, 30 seconds later, and we've already lost 4 or 5 seconds, and by the end of that lap, returning straight to the pits, we have the world's most embarrassing and clumsy crash there, entering the pit lane at like 2 miles an hour. Locked up and still crashed there. So the time that I did on dry tires was the worst of everyone who set times on dry tires. I think I was like 7 or 8, maybe 10 seconds off the pace. I thought maybe if I nail a lap on intermediate tires, maybe I could get close or possibly even beat the time that I set on dry tires. So I set out to try and beat that, but unfortunately, as you can see there, 9 seconds off our previous best there. So that was the end of our qualifying session there. It's P12 for us there. We were P11 briefly, but Nico Rosberg jumped up into what was 3rd place, even though it was raining and he was on dry tires. So I don't know what went on there. Nico is clearly hacking. But speaking of hacking, Pascal Wehrlein gets P5 for the Malaysian Grand Prix. Quite a very interesting grid we have for this race. A lot of slow cars are further up the order, and a lot of quick cars are buried down the order a little bit. So it's going to make for a very interesting race for this Malaysian Grand Prix. Let's see how we go. I just can't wait to get started.
From uncompromising heat to unrelenting storms, you never know quite what you're going to get here in Kuala Lumpur. The inaugural race in 1999 was the last of 4 Grand Prix victories for Northern Ireland's Eddie Irvine. I wonder who'll be adding their name to that history today.
You qualified higher than we were expecting, so see if you can keep this position in the race.
So here we are on the grid of the Malaysian Grand Prix, round number 16 here for this F1 2016 Career Mode Championship. You can see we've got some intermediate conditions, which is quite interesting because in the middle of the race, it looks set to dry up with cloudy and a brief bit of sun conditions, so we could make a switch back to dry tyres before heavy rain hits at the back end of this Grand Prix. So yeah, it looks like it might be a very interesting one in terms of strategy. Right there, I decided to do a proper race start, try and launch the car off the line as well as I could for that formation lap. It was good practice for this race start here in the wet. 5 red lights for this Malaysian Grand Prix, and it's go time here in Sepang. Looks like it's been a good start from us. We initially fly past Palmer, Ericsson, and a Force India. It was just a beautiful start there, running into turn 1 now. We'll see if we can go up the inside of Grosjean here as the gap presents itself. He goes side by side with Felipe Massa, who is unfortunately retiring at the end of this 2016 F1 season. Heading through turn 2 now, you can see you're on the back of Magnussen. So a lot of, you know, kind of backmarker cars here in this Career Mode Championship got themselves up the order because they got themselves a really good lap in early in qualifying. So it's a very jumbled grid at the moment. Massive lockup into turn 4 there. I did very well to avoid hitting Bottas there, but still managed to keep it on the track at the same time. Out traction Magnussen, and now we're going around the outside of Bottas, who was getting slowed up by both Wehrlein and Raikkonen, who, I don't know what the deal is there for Raikkonen. He was going very slowly through the fast left-right part of that middle sector. Going side by side now with the Williams, and we managed to traction them and get them through the high-speed stuff, which is quite surprising, to be honest, in this manner, though our car does come alive a little bit when it comes to intermediate conditions. It seems like myself and Pascal seem to do well when any kind of weather is involved. But at the end of the first lap here, you can see we're already putting pressure on our teammate Pascal Wehrlein, and today it looks like it might be our day in these intermediate conditions. So we go around the outside of him into the final corner. He doesn't put up too much of a fight. I've kind of locked up a little bit. I've been running into these corners a little bit too deep, and it's been costing me. But as you can see there, we come to the end of the first lap. There's a solar flare. The sun is peeking through the clouds, and so you might see those dry conditions appearing possibly sooner than later.
Line is really dry enough yet to start thinking about slicks. Let's hold on to the inters for a while longer.
Yeah, so there you go. As I was just explaining, we might see dry conditions sooner rather than later because there's a dry line already starting to appear, as you can see on screen there. The engineer is warning me about, the impeding, dry conditions coming up. So lap 4 here, there's cars in front of us making their pit stops. And when I was driving around, in the moment, I personally didn't feel like it was time to come in for intermediate tyres. But as you can see here with hindsight, I feel like it's probably the wrong decision, as everyone else literally is in the pits fitting on their dry tyres. So I see just one corner into the next lap, DRS has been enabled, so it's dry enough for everyone to be running on dry tyres. So I quickly regretted my decision to stay out that extra lap, but hopefully it can give me a little bit of flexibility heading into the second half of this race. Like I said, there's going to be a brief dry period, and then we're going back to intermediate, and then very, very quickly heavy rain conditions. So when it rains heavily at Malaysia, the rain comes really quickly, so you've got to be on the ball and just predict exactly when that rain is going to come. So we're going to have opportunities later on in the race. We've lost some time now, but I feel like if we go to the medium tyres, which I chose to go to, I think we could get to the next rain period without making another stop, whereas these guys on soft compound tyres around me, they're definitely going to have to come back in for a new set of dry tyres. So I feel like there's going to be a bit of a strategy gain to make here in this race. So we're definitely not down and out of this race at the moment. We're still in P7, which is a fantastic position to be in this race anyway, let alone with the impeding rain threat coming later on in this race. So lap 8 now, you can see we're defending from Daniel Ricciardo, who goes up the inside on dry tyres. You're going to see a lot of quicker cars coming back through the field now. That's the dry conditions are our DRS is fully available for the AI to utilize. So we have the likes of Hamilton made his way through. He's back in the top 5. Ricciardo is there. There's a few others down the order as well that are going to make their way through. So we just got to keep an eye out for those guys. Try and make life difficult for these guys if we can, because essentially we are really racing these guys today, like I said, with the strategy ploy that we have up our sleeve. Lap 8 there, I managed to get back in front of Daniel, but unfortunately, a couple corners later, I made a silly mistake, got wide on the curb, which is still pretty wet, and it was just so slippery. It sent me in a bit of a half spin there, lost the back end, and Daniel got back in front of me. Lap 10 now, you can see people who went to these soft compound tyres, which was a massive mistake, they're already back in for a new set of tyres. So, yeah, they're going to be absolutely nowhere in this race. But meanwhile, we've still been battling away with other cars. I think Alonso was right behind me, but now he's made another pit stop in this race. So that promotes us up into P6. Just a bit further back down the road, this is Jenson Button. And I believe Carlos Sainz, they had a bit of a coming together at the final corner there. I believe Jenson was coming into the pits, but Carlos was just trying to defend his position and possibly re-overtake. And as we slow it down here, Jenson is on the inside. He's making his way to the pit lane, but Carlos turns in for the corner, and it's just a very unfortunate incident there with the AI. It does happen quite a bit.
Remember, box this lap. Keep an eye on your distance to the speed limit line as you approach, and make sure you don't speed.
Okay, thanks for that, engineer. He's trying to send me a message here. Little does he know that I'm actually staying out until the next batch of rain comes in, no matter what. The engineer's been calling me to come in for ages and ages, and he's saying, hey, come on, pit stop time, new tyres, let's go. But I'm not listening to any messages the engineer has to tell me. Speaking of which, we've got another team radio.
Expecting some rain soon. Expect the first drops in the next few minutes.
Okay, thanks for that, Jeff. Well, my strategy call doesn't look too silly now, does it, Jeff? I think if we were to listen to his strategy, come in for new dry tyres, we'd be in Nowhereville, population us. But 2 laps later, we come in, we make the call to pit in at the end of this lap. Rosberg came in on the previous one, and he's put on new dry tyres, and he's put on the hard compound. The absolute worst tyres you could put on. Nico, what were you thinking? If you're going to come in for new dry tyres, you may as well put the soft compound on and blast some cheeky hot laps in, but no, he's going for that outright consistency. And lap 20 here, I'm going to be the first one to blink here, because I know when it starts to rain, it's been spitting like the last 60 seconds. I was really anticipating that heavy rain to come very quickly, so I know what it's like around here in Malaysia. Things can change in the blink of an eye. Just think back to, was it Season 2 in F1 2013 career mode? Anything is possible on these F1 games, especially around Malaysia. You've just got to be on the right tyre at the right time, and I think that is the right time now. You can see it's already spitting quite hard now on the screen there, and Valtteri Bottas is out of the Grand Prix. I wonder if that has any kind of relation to the conditions at the moment. Looks like he's going very slowly, holding up a train behind. He gets collected by Vettel and then by the Renault. So he gets boxed in either side, and he loses both of his front tyres there. He's out of the Grand Prix. No safety car for that incident, unfortunately. DRS has now been disabled, so we came in at the perfect time to switch to the intermediate tyres. Now the AI are reacting. Surely they've lost a lot of time on this lap as well. We move up to P4 with Wehrlein right behind us as a bit of a rear gunner here. This is lap 24 now. Palmer is going a lap down. Took him a long time to surrender that position, to be fair, and now he's not even doing it that willingly. He's still putting up a bit of a fight. Come on, I'm one of the leaders here, and you're holding me up, so get out of the way, pal. That would be much appreciated. Wehrlein was actually overtaking a lap car as well. He got stuck behind it for a little bit. Now lap 26. The rain is really starting to set in here. The track is getting quite damp here. Wehrlein gets overtaken by Hamilton, unfortunately, who has been consistently making his way back through the pack. I don't think he put in the best strategy call midway through the race, which has left him still down the order a bit. That's, is it Max Verstappen out of the Grand Prix? I think it is, with an engine failure, so it wouldn't be an F1 2016 career mode from me if there wasn't an engine failure from the AI. So last 2 laps of this Grand Prix now, we're just trying to keep Hamilton behind us, who is really making some solid inroads behind us. He's catching us by a second, 2 seconds a lap here, and I'm just using all the available fuel in the tank in order to keep him behind. Luckily enough, we did an upgrade for the fuel efficiency, and that's really allowed us to run in rich revs for a lot of this race, and I think that might be the saving factor for us in this Grand Prix here, because we're running rich for the final stint of this race, and it's really maintaining the gap to Hamilton to a fairly controllable amount. Meanwhile, Sebastian Vettel wins the Malaysian Grand Prix. Rosberg is in P3, so that means Kimi Raikkonen must be in second for a Ferrari 1-2. 4th place, though, it isn't quite settled yet because Hamilton is still right behind us, but I think it should be fine, though, heading into this final corner. So long as we don't make a mistake, we are going to finish in P4 for this Malaysian Grand Prix and come away with our equal best result of the season. The last time we finished P4, it was Monaco. It was a fantastic drive that day. It's another fantastic drive today, and another 12 points.
Good job, mate. Really well done. That was a fantastic drive.
So there we go, guys. That has been the Malaysian Grand Prix here for round number 16 of this Career Mode Championship. Sebastian Vettel takes out the race win. Kimi Raikkonen home in second. Rosberg home in third as well to round out the podium. We ended up in 4th place. Like I said, best result of the season, along with the drive we made in Monaco. Hamilton came home in 5th, only a second or 2 behind me, so it was very close between the two of us there. Ricardo P6, Wehrlein 7th as well to back up what was a really solid point scoring round for us at the in the Manor car. So even though we're like not upgrading the car anymore, we're still scoring some really solid points, and it's just laying down the foundation for next season, which could be possibly a championship winning one. I don't want to say too much too early, but we're definitely going to be a lot closer towards the front of the grid for Season 2. And who knows, we might get a few podiums and maybe even that illustrious race win. In terms of the driver standings, we move up to position 8 now after Daniel Kvyat and Valtteri Bottas failed to score points, I believe, and we came away with 12 there. So it's been a massive one in terms of progress for us in this round, and yeah, that's almost all but sealed our finishing position inside the top 10 for this 2016 Formula 1 Championship. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new to see plenty more F1 2016 videos. If you have any predictions as to what might happen in Season 2, then I'd love to hear them. Let me know what you think we might be able to achieve next season, and hopefully I can go out and maybe achieve some of, or maybe even exceed your expectations for Season 2. Thank you guys so much for watching. Until the next race, I'll see you guys next time.